Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, these Biden people may be constantly lying, especially when it comes to the border crisis, the issue of immigration, where Joe Biden sits at a negative 30 rating. You know, his rating's down there because he keeps lying. They keep pretending it's not happening when it obviously is, when everyone sees it, and probably most importantly, it's probably even worse than what's being reported. These clowns keep lying about it, but the people who aren't lying are those actually crossing the border. Once again, the trend continues. You know, Biden pretends as if he has nothing to do with any of it. Nope, not my fault. I've incentivized no one to cross the border. But the people themselves constantly, as we've reported over the years, tell a very different story. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so I think I pretty much set the stage there. Just take a look at this segment from Fox 7.
We're just outside of the San Diego Metropolitan, and all weekend long, our crews have seen a consistent flow of illegal immigration here into this area. And just a few days ago, President Biden addressed the nation promising that he would end the flow of illegal migration into the country, and those who try will be punished. However, a new memo obtained by Fox News indicates that the order being given to Border Patrol agents here on the ground is contradictory to what President Biden promised the nation. The memo instructs agents to continue mass releasing single adult migrants into the United States from all but 6 countries in the Eastern Hemisphere. Those countries are Russia, Georgia, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Moldova, and Kyrgyzstan, meaning all the migrants we are seeing in real time coming from China, Egypt, countries in Africa, they are being released. The internal memo reads in part, Border Patrol agents are ordered to refer to ICE single adults from hard or very hard to remove countries. Those are the 6. All other migrants are processed and released with a notice to appear on their own recognizance. And we've been talking to migrants from all over the world arriving here into the San Diego sector. I talked to one man from Turkey. Here's what he had to say. What do you think of President Biden?
Biden, I love Biden.
Why do you love Biden?
Because Biden we love.
Why do you love him?
Biden help us.
That clip's perfect for 2 reasons. Firstly, it's on-the-ground reporting that completely exposes Joe Biden. Border agents are essentially saying that what Joe Biden is doing and what Joe Biden is saying, well, they're 2 completely different things. And then, of course, there's the illegal migrant interview at the end there, where the guy directly says, I love Biden because Biden help us. There you go. That's the view. Don't need Joe Biden or any of his cronies to tell you that they're definitely incentivizing illegal migration. The illegal migrants themselves say the quiet part out loud, because of course they've been duped. The globalist NGO workers and the cartel coyotes can't exactly media prep or media coach every single one of these millions of illegal migrants. And so of course the truth gets out here. What's happening is that millions of people are being sold a false dream based on rhetoric and promises made by Joe Biden and other Democrats, like, I don't know, pretty much every Democrat on stage, raising their hands, signaling that they would support giving free Medicare to illegal migrants. Or I don't know what it could be. Could it be Joe Biden's constant promises of amnesty to the, quote, 11 million illegals that supposedly deserve a pathway to citizenship as a reward for illegally entering a country and never leaving?
You do want a pathway to citizenship,
yes,
for roughly 11 million undocumented immigrants, yes, and that would be essential in any bill for you?
Well, yes, there is a reasonable path to citizenship. And so what we're going to do is, first of all, appeal the case, number 1. But number 2, we're going to make sure that a number of my Republican colleagues say they support the right of dreamers to come. Let's call the question. They should be able to stay in the United States of America when their child comes with them.
Nah, couldn't be any of that. No, of course, that's exactly what it is. You know, these poor people are being manipulated by human trafficking rings, human smuggling rings, and cartels. They're being told that Joe Biden wants to give you a pathway to citizenship. Look, every time Texas tries to secure the border, Joe Biden's there to dismantle the whole thing. He wants you to come in, and when you come in, he's going to release you and then terminate your court case so you can basically stay there to work and send money back to your family. This is what people are being told, and it's the reason millions of people people are crossing. It's the reason there's a crisis. It's Joe Biden's fault, and now he's trying to take credit for supposedly coming in, swooping in at the last second and solving the problem. But that notion, of course, is laughable. I mean, look at some of the crap that these Biden people are saying.
We have increased the number of refugees that we will accept from the Western Hemisphere. We have built safe mobility offices in Colombia, Ecuador, Guatemala, Costa Rica, to reach people where they are so they don't have to take the perilous journey.
That's DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas talking about their border security plan, and what does he mention? What's their great success? Building safe mobility offices in South American countries so people have legal pathways. What does that even mean? We're talking about claiming asylum here. And notice earlier he said we want to take in more refugees. I think he said, quote, we want to increase the number of refugees that we take in. Not exactly sure what he's going on about here, but what it does seem like is either somebody being completely dishonest or totally misunderstanding the point or the issue. The crisis at the southern border isn't a crisis of not having an accessible refugee system. It's a crisis of people flaunting that system, of people not caring about that system, people abusing that system. What's the goal here? Create more legal headache and endless paperwork while doing nothing to actually stop the core issue? There's only a finite amount of legally defined refugees on a yearly basis. And what the US takes in, I think we're talking less than 20,000 people who have legitimate claims of asylum. The people who are going through these legal processes with actual cases, well, they're already doing so. That system already works. Everybody else, yeah, that's the crisis. That's the problem. Those are the people who are being swindled by you and your phony political messaging. Adding bureaucratic offices across a couple of South American nations does nothing to solve the problem. This is the same thing that we saw with Biden's border plan that he was presenting that didn't end up passing thanks to Donald Trump and other Republicans. A border security bill which did what to secure the border? Hired more judges and lawyers. Well, most of the bill wanted to hire more judges and lawyers to expand the asylum system. Yeah, that's not border security. That's the problem. Again, I don't know if Democrats are stupid or dishonest. I don't know if they think that 3 million people crossing the border in a year equates to 3 million legitimate, plausible refugee claims. It's either that or they're just plain evil and they're importing voters, gaslighting the public, blaming everybody else, blaming Donald Trump as they purposely enable this border chaos. And then, of course, the greatest insult, pretending as if they're doing something and as if you're stupid enough to accept their explanations or their responses. Just think about it. Millions of people crossing the border, they want to open an office in Guatemala. Genius. It's not a complicated problem. Everybody gets it. The illegal migrants themselves seem to even get it. And increasingly, more and more, the voting electorate is starting to get it. As yet again, another poll shows that Joe Biden's failures have red-pilled the nation, that the people are soundly behind Donald Trump and his immigration policies.
We are going to have the largest deportation effort in the history of our country. We're bringing everybody back to where they came from. We have no choice.
Essentially, mass deportation of illegal migrants skirting immigration laws. Another poll hits to the complete shock and dismay of these elitist media talking heads. The headline reads, CBS host is shocked by poll showing 62% of registered voters support deporting all illegal immigrants.
Would you support a new government program that would deport all people living in the U.S. illegally? And that finds majority favor. That finds 6 in 10. It's strongest among folks who are MAGA. It's strongest among Trump supporters, but also from some Democrats as well. And I think that that speaks to the general idea, not just that people see the border as a crisis, but also where we are in the campaign, where a lot of very dramatic or new proposals out there are finding favor here.
And then, depending on the details of what's talked about on the campaign trail, some of what Mr. Trump talks about could be illegal. It doesn't seem practical in some sense to round up children. And then we know that the courts have questioned whether local authorities would have the ability to do it. And federal authorities don't have the resources. So what exactly do people think they're supporting?
It's simply gone too far. At first, it was something fun to virtue signal on. There's no such thing as illegal people. But it's gone beyond the rhetoric at this point. Beyond the virtue signal, cities have been plunged into chaos. Tax dollars meant to go to public services are being deferred to deal with the illegal migrant crisis. Venezuelan criminals and gangs are now running havoc across the nation. It's no longer a small amount of South Americans crossing over the border, looking to do manual labor. It's become a crisis of epic proportions where seemingly the world's poor, in masses, people from Africa, people from China, from Russia, Eastern Europe, India, the list goes on, are just showing up, walking in, and essentially refusing to leave. It's become an obvious crisis. It's become obvious bad policy. The people have woken up. 62% of registered voters declaring they are essentially done. Deport, focus on the nation's people. If you want to join the nation, go through the legal process. The verdict is in, the issue has been defined, regardless of whatever the Biden people are squawking about. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. You know, we'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.